right, so go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What are we looking at?
I'm Ron Whitaker. This is a 1996 Buick Roadmaster limited wagon. Has an LT1 engine similar to the Corvettes of the day. Difference is Corvette had aluminum heads. This has steel heads and a 2-bolt main instead of a 4-bolt main. But the premise as far as how the car breathes and fires is the same. So everything designed for Buick, of course, there's no aftermarket parts. So everything on this car is either for Corvette, Camaro, or Impala SS. But it all works with this Smog and EGR platform.
That's amazing. Now tell me, this is a station wagon with a V8. Tell me first how you got this car. You're the original owner. It is in immaculate condition. It even has a wood paneling on the side. It just gives me throwback ages when I was a youngster in the 80s. But tell me about this car. How did you get it and its history?
Well, I'm third in line. I had 2 other of these wagons. They were ordinary in that they were white. And over the years, using those as work vehicles, I started reading about the LT1s and the later models and started thinking about the possibilities. And then I started looking for factory black, which is quite rare. You see these cars, they're teal, green, gold, whatever. But from the factory, black, they're very handsome and similar to the SS Impalas of that day between 94 and 96, which were running the same powertrain.
So almost like direct fit, works perfectly. Parts are easy to come by. This is a gem, and I really want people to appreciate this car. Now, tell me where is your passion in the car culture? Are you a cars and coffee guy? Have you had some track experience? Where did your love of cars and the car culture come from?
Well, I started off back in 1972 driving a Triumph, of all things. Which this car is a lot different than British, but the road rally days back then. Now I enjoy club events with Cali SS, which is here in California with 6 different chapters, including places like Greater Los Angeles all the way to San Diego. And we have several club events a year. But Cars and Coffee works fine for me because this is halfway between where I live and where I'm going today. And I really love this particular detail garage event in Murrieta because it's big. There's a lot of car enthusiasts and you see a whole gamut of things. But as far as car shows, I love all kinds of things, especially high school program events, fundraisers for their music programs. That's my favorite. In fact, there's always cheerleaders at those events, and the current record is 13 in the car.
Oh, look. Yeah, you have the rear-facing seats in this, too, which is just phenomenal. And it just shows that this car has stood the test of time and has been a wonderful addition for people knowing how cars were built 20, 30 years ago. Could you give advice to those that are kind of seeking this station wagon or this type of car or any older car in general? What should people be looking out for?
Well, try and obtain something that's low mileage, maybe a California car or desert car that doesn't have a lot of rust, and then start reading in the forums like B-Body forums, forums that are specific to Buick Roadmaster, and you'll see that guys are using EBOC lowering springs designed for other vehicles. They're doing a combination of things that help the car to fire and breathe. And that's what you see here is kind of a collective of my experience with that culture and doing bit by bit over, well, it's been 18 years now that I've had this car. And I'm still working on things.
And still learning.
The thing on the plate right now is a rear brake drum to disc conversion.
Nice.
So it'll have brakes very similar to the C6, C5 next door to me here, where all the bracketry and so forth is supplied to convert that setup to this vehicle. So that's exciting, for me.
Oh, absolutely.
The next in line for I'm not going to win any slalom races with this wagon, but anything I can do within my budget each year, to make improvements. So
that's phenomenal. And let's go ahead and go into the last question. And I hope people hear your advice. I think the forums and learning, just the way people have figured out what other parts work for other things and how they retrofit and how they can go into it, I think is wonderful. And people, that's what makes our community amazing. Last question. California wants to transition to electrification in the next 15 to 20 years. What are your thoughts of electric cars in the future, the car culture?
Well, it's all changed, and I actually follow this. And what most people don't realize is we're on the cusp of a newer battery technology, which is solid state. Between now until now, everything has been liquid. I think they call it electrolytes or cathodes.
Yeah, like all the battery acid and all that stuff, right?
So pretty soon you'll be able to punch holes in batteries without them catching fire, and we're this close to having that happen. At that point, for me, with the solid state batteries, everything changes.
I have to go into some research on that, but you're, I guess, saying you're more welcoming for it, or?
Absolutely. I like a combination of retro car culture and electrification. This is, would be a wild candidate for an electric conversion, but if I was a no frills, deep pockets guy, I'd convert the Wagon to electric. Not going to happen, of course,
right.
But in my dream man mind, it's doable, and look at how much room I have for battery space back in that frame.
There you go. And I think that we're starting to slowly see that. Some old, 66 Mustangs that people have been retrofitting Tesla batteries and things of that nature. And we're slowly starting to see those conversion kits come out to a whole variety of cars. And so I'm just curious to see what's going to happen in the next 15 to 20 years, whether you're hardcore internal combustion engine or ready to embrace the future and kind of go from there.
If your listeners have ever ridden an electric vehicle like a Tesla S, that you'll have that oh my god moment, and you'll think, oh yeah, so it'll change your mind for sure.
Fantastic. And then you mentioned the car club you're in, but if you wanted to give any shout outs or thank yous, go ahead and do it now.
I'd just like to thank the board of directors for Cali SS for giving me the opportunity to join their club. I have a fantastic time, and look forward to our upcoming Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, love it. All of them are coming up. Well, thank you again for your time. We really appreciate it. I'm going to do a quick walk around of the car and just get that beauty of it, man. It's awesome.